You're not broke because you don't make enough money. You're broke because it's parked in your driveway. Right now there's a vehicle outside your house that costs more than your first apartment, more than your emergency fund, and maybe more than your retirement account. And it hasn't hauled anything heavier than groceries. That's the Pavement Princess trap, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Picture this. You're stopped at a red light, sitting way above traffic. Big hood, wide stance. Mirrors like satellite dishes. For a moment, you feel untouchable. The cabin is quiet. The seats are stitched leather. The screen is bigger than your first TV. You feel successful, capable, like you've arrived. But here's the uncomfortable question. Arrived where, exactly? You don't work construction. You don't farm. You don't tow anything heavier than ego. The bed of your truck is pristine. No scratches, no dents, no scars. It's never seen mud, gravel, or a job site. What it has seen is asphalt, office parking lots, and the inside of a Starbucks drive-thru. Yet every month, money leaves your account like clockwork, not quietly, not gently. It leaves violently. That truck isn't transportation. It's a subscription to looking capable, and it's draining you dry. Somewhere in the last decade, trucks stopped being tools. They became identity packages, a way to buy toughness, strength, and masculinity on a payment plan. The auto industry didn't do this by accident. They studied the psychology. They knew exactly which buttons to press. They stopped selling engines and torque. They started selling feelings, power, readiness, status, and it worked spectacularly. The average new pickup now costs more than many people make in a year. Not the luxury trim, the average one. The moment you step into the real man version, the price explodes. $75,000, $85,000, $90 plus if you really want to feel something. Pause for a second and sit with that. You're financing a depreciating machine that costs more than your household earns in 12 months. And somehow that's been normalized. Here's how they get you. They don't sell you the price. They sell you the payment. They slide a paper across the desk, smile, and point to one number. It's only $1,200 a month. Only. As if that word isn't doing criminal amounts of work. They stretch the loan. 6 years, 7 years, sometimes longer. Longer than most phones, relationships, and jobs last. Your brain relaxes. You stop thinking, because monthly feels manageable. But the payment is just the cover charge. The real costs show up later. Let's start with fuel. Big trucks drink gas like it's free. Because to them, it might as well be. You're lucky to see mid-teens miles per gallon. Meanwhile, a boring sedan quietly gets double that. Every single commute. Over a year, that difference isn't small. It's thousands. Paid just so you can sit higher at stoplights. Insurance doesn't save you either. You're not insuring a work truck. You're insuring a luxury object with a massive replacement cost. If it gets totaled, the bank isn't losing 30 grand. They're losing 90. And they price that risk directly into your premium. Then come the tires. Those aggressive all-terrain monsters you needed. Even though they'll never touch anything rougher than a speed bump. Replacing them costs more than some people's entire car. And you'll do it again. And again. Maintenance scales too. More oil. Bigger brakes. Heavier everything. Every routine service quietly costs more than it should. Not once. Forever. And then there's registration and taxes. The part nobody mentions. Because it's boring and it hurts. In many places, vehicle value matters. A $90,000 truck doesn't get treated gently. It gets billed accordingly. By the time you stack all of this together, the picture changes. That $1,200 payment is a lie of omission. Your real monthly cost is much higher. And that's before interest enters the chat. You didn't pay cash. Almost nobody does, so you financed it. At modern interest rates, that loan is a money shredder. You'll hand the bank tens of thousands for nothing tangible. just for the privilege of borrowing. All in, that Pavement Princess costs you close to $2,000 a month. Every month, no days off. Now compare that to the alternative nobody brags about. A used, reliable sedan. 3 years old, proven, boring. Lower payment, cheaper insurance, less gas. Minimal maintenance drama. The difference between these two worlds isn't subtle. It's nearly $1,000 a month, every month. That's not pocket change. That's life-changing money, if you let it be. Over the life of the truck loan, the gap becomes absurd. $70,000, $80,000, $90,000. Gone, not spent on memories. Not invested, just burned. And that's where the real damage begins, because the cost isn't just what you pay. It's what that money could have become. Invest that difference consistently, and time does the heavy lifting. Quietly, relentlessly, while you sleep. After several years, you don't just have savings. You have options, real ones. The irony is brutal. The truck makes you feel powerful, but it quietly strips your actual power away, because now everything in your life bends around that payment, your career choices, your risk tolerance, your sleep. You don't notice it at first. It creeps in slowly, like humidity. You hesitate before booking trips. You avoid conversations about buying a home. You flinch at unexpected expenses. Debt ratios tighten. Lenders look at your numbers and shake their heads. Not because you're irresponsible, but because you look overextended. Vacations turn into excuses. I'm busy with work. What you really mean is, I can't breathe right now. Your emergency fund never fills up. There's always something pulling from it, or preventing it from existing at all. And when life does what life always does, you reach for credit. Small balances at first, then bigger ones. High interest, no progress. Stress compounding faster than anything you own. If you share finances with someone, the tension multiplies. That truck becomes a silent third party in every discussion. Always there, always expensive. Plans get delayed. Goals get negotiated downward. Resentment simmers. And here's the part nobody expects. The truck locks you into your job. Harder than handcuffs. You can't take risks. You can't walk away. You need consistency above all else. That thing in your driveway quietly decides how brave you're allowed to be. And that's terrifying. What makes this worse is how fast the joy fades. The first few weeks feel incredible. You notice every detail. Then one day, it's just your vehicle. The magic evaporates. But the bills don't. Hedonic adaptation doesn't care about your payment schedule. It takes the pleasure and leaves the obligation. Every time. Now imagine two futures. In one, you kept the truck. You made every payment. You survived. Years later, you own a machine worth half of what you paid. And not much else. In the other, you chose boring. You drove something sensible. You invested the difference. Years later, you still have a car. But you also have leverage, freedom. Which version actually won? At this point, someone always says, "But I use my truck." Sometimes that's true. Most of the time, it isn't. Using the bed a few times a year doesn't justify the cost. Rent exists. Delivery exists. What you bought wasn't utility. It was insurance against feeling ordinary. And the industry knows it. Look at the ads. They never show reality. They show fantasy, mountains, mud, firewood, not office parks and traffic jams. They sell you a story where capability is purchased, not built. Where masculinity comes with heated seats, and people bought it. Dealerships don't care if it makes sense long term. They care if the loan clears. That's it. There's no loophole here, no clever trick. The math doesn't bend. A luxury truck used as a commuter is a financial trap. Full stop. If you already own one and you're drowning, the move is painful but simple. You sell it, even if it hurts. You stop the bleeding now instead of slowly over years. Pride is expensive. Survival is cheaper. If you're thinking about buying one, consider this your warning. That feeling you're chasing is temporary. The cost is not. Buy the boring car. Seriously. The quiet one that starts every morning. That doesn't demand your future as a down payment. That lets your money work for you instead of against you. Spend some of the savings on real joy, travel, rest, experiences that don't depreciate. And when someone jokes about your cute little car, smile. Because you understand something they don't. You bought freedom. Vehicles are tools. Nothing more. Nothing less. You don't buy industrial equipment for a household chore. And you don't build wealth by lighting money on fire to impress strangers. The Pavement Princess trap works because it feels harmless, because it's normalized, because everyone else is doing it. But once you see the numbers, the illusion collapses. What looked like strength was fragility. What looked like success was leverage in the wrong direction. Real power is margin, options, the ability to say no. And no truck gives you that.